Hey there, welcome to day 40 of our Get Your Goals annual challenge. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, and today we're talking about the O in the SOAP framework. O stands for options. How do we fill the gap? Emotional options, because we're focusing on emotions this month. Emotional goals, emotional things we want to improve, which is a goal, right? We're applying the SOAP framework to that. Yesterday we talked about our story and our current story and our desired story. That creates a gap, a difference between where we are right now and where we want to be. And we pretty much have a gap between where we are and where we want to be in every area and aspect of our life. And that's why we set goals, is to start filling that gap. In order to set goals, we have to come up with different options or possibilities. And I'm going to talk about reverse engineering today. I'll talk about a different tool. Maybe not every month. We'll cover a couple times because they're that good. I mean, brainstorming. When in doubt, I always revert to brainstorming because it's the quickest, easiest, fastest way to come up with possible options. But today we're going to talk about reverse engineering. Remember I said in Guide 17 on the Get Up and Go Challenge private page, there's a guide. I added Guide 17 this month where I have a little bit of a discussion, or I do a little bit of a write-up on each day's topic. And I'll share today, after I'm done making videos and doing my content today, I'll share a write-up of like 5 or 6 different ways to come up with different options and ideas and possible ways to solve problems. They're tools like reverse engineering. I don't know if I've talked about reverse engineering here yet, but I guarantee I will this year. And I'll give some examples of how I've done that to make my job and my life easier, to understand things faster and easier. And one of the things I would do is I would go through a process backwards. Reverse engineering is looking about, instead of thinking about what you want directly, you think about and how you're going to get there, what the solutions would be. You jump to the end and you think about the result that you want, the end result that you want. And we did that yesterday when we did our current and our desired story. So instead of starting at the current story and thinking forward, how am I going to get there? What possible things could I do? We're going to do the opposite today. We're going to start at the end with our desired story, and we're going to ask ourselves, well, what are some ways I can get there? And then we're going to write them all down. I say go for at least 10 possible things that you can do. Some will be big things, some will be small, some will be easy to do, some will be difficult. And tomorrow, as we get into the A, we will analyze and decide which of those we're going to take action on, because nothing happens in our lives. We can thinking helps a little, but until we actually do something or take action, usually inspired action is the best. We'll talk about that maybe tomorrow too. We won't know what to do. So we have to create a list of alternatives. I already made my list of 10 spaces because I'm going to come up with at least 10 possible ways to get the desired result I want for myself in the area of gratitude. So think about the emotion you want. Go back and look at what you said you wanted in your story and ask yourself, how and what are some of the things I could do to go about getting that result? And the reason it works really well is by focusing on the result, the solutions, instead of the problem or our current situation. It opens us up to be more creative, and it also helps us find faster solutions to get the result than we might if we were just doing step-by-step thinking, right? Sometimes we like to take a goal and break it down into little pieces, which is great. But there's other times where if we were to focus on the goal, we would get some inspired ideas, or we would think outside the box and come up with ways to make quantum leaps and steps toward that thing instead of having to go one step at a time. All right, questions about this? Our action item: reverse engineer the emotion that you want, the result that you want, and come up with at least 10 ways you can start moving toward that, or 10 ways that you could get that, right? We can't buy gratitude. We have to, and that's the thing about emotions. We can't buy our way into it. We have to figure out how we're going to find and experience it more often. And that's one of the things I like about the emotional area and aspect of our life. It's core to us, but it's also something that no one else can do for us. It reminds us how important it is that we take personal responsibility and that we choose and we decide for ourselves what's important. So questions, hit me up. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow. I'm going to go today sometime, think about and reverse engineer, how am I going to get the outcome with respect to gratitude that I want? I already got some ideas, and So I'm excited to do this. All right. And then we're going to circle 3. We're going to circle 3. If you're brave, you can share your 3 in the comments below. Otherwise, just make sure that you do it. The most important thing is that you do the action item, not that you ever share it with anybody else. Okay? All right. Have a great day. I'll be with you tomorrow.